Oh, yeah. Who's ready? Who's excited? Just me? You too? GKR. Week 5, day 2. Mohamed Light stumbled a little bit, and the Queso Cup had to be carried, some might say, by the rest of his squad to win the Queso Cup. Is he back in form? Was it just one bad day? Or is this it now? Not in the lineup to kick things off, but will he be in the lineup later? Will it even matter? Does Mohamed Light have this all locked down? TitanStars Alliance trying to fight their way out of the bottom half of our table. 1-3 so far. Shot Calalas undefeated, 4-0. Will it be 5-0? First set 3v3 BO1s. Dominic versus Dudu. Phoenix versus Sandbox. Caruze versus Vitor. Miner, Hog, Lava, MK, Rage, Clone, Pump, Expo all banned. Kind of some trolly bans on the spells and buildings, but some significant bans when it comes to the troops being banned. And you know what? I'm excited for it. No Miner, no Hog, no MK, no Lava? No way. No way. Yes way. It's what's actually happening. Hey, everybody. How are you? My name's Rich Slayton. I cast Clash Royale sometimes. This week, I'm casting it 7 days in a row. And today, as Sandy says, our teams and rosters are in the description below. If you're watching on YouTube. If you're watching on Twitch, I don't know, go to Royale API. Either way, it's going to be a blast. And of course, later today, after this, BESF. So we're here for a while. We're doing this, and then after this, we're doing BESF. Let me go ahead and turn off the upper light. Oh yeah, the mood light. Now we got ooh. Now we're with it. Now we're feeling it. Very excited for it. Love hanging out with Rich every day. Jay Quip. Mwah. Love you being here. What kind of meta are we in for in this match with no Miner, no MK, no Hog, no Lava, sure. Royal Hogs get a bit of a buff with no MK. How much people lean on Delivery, Fireball, Bomb Tower to hedge against Royal Hogs? No Clone. Will we be seeing some Mirror Pigs today? Looking like Royal Giant potentially against Graveyard or RG. And good calculation there by Dudu to recognize he could get some... Recognize he could get some damage on there. What do I cast on the weekend? I'm actually not. I'm taking this weekend off. I was going to cast the DreamHack Finals, but I have been casting almost every single weekend for a while and have not had any family time. So I'm casting DreamHack the first 2 stages on Thursday, Friday. I will not be casting DreamHack Playoffs and Finals this weekend. I'm assuming that's Juicy J, not entirely sure. But I know one thing, it's not me this weekend. Taking some much-needed family time. Good fireball value there for Doom, and you have to imagine, because of the danger of pigs, fireball will be around quite a bit. 2 different RG fireball looks as Dudu sets up the opposite direction to his strong side. Bar Barrel going to handle that Fish Boy. That's pretty nice. Second Fisherman in, though. And Skeleton King's just going to get absorbed here. Fairly even fight so far, with Dudu doing a better job of creating dual lane pressure up to this point. TitanStars really hasn't done super well in this competition. Dudu at 3-3 in gameplay so far. And that would be part of that 1-3 overall. Don't think I've seen Dudu run this deck yet in this competition. But looking like he might expand his record to a positive win rate here. It's so funny, the gap between players overall when you have a guy who's an 8.1K person legacy ladder, like Dudu, but who has struggled in a competition like this. Just tells you what how thin that line is of greatness. RG, did that fireball miss? Did that fireball actually miss? Am I crazy? Doom about to pressure. I don't know if he can break through this. He does have a log. I think it's available. Gonna fireball the zappies. Log comes down afterwards. RG's not gonna do enough damage here. That missed fireball is not going to be that impactful. But I'm pretty sure that fireball missed. Doesn't matter. Either way. GG, well played. Game number 1 to TitanStars Alliance. Mind of Roddy asking how Slayton Jr. is doing. He's doing well. There's 2 Slayton Juniors now. Let me turn this music down so it's not so jarring when it comes back in. There we have it. So next up going to be Phoenix versus Sandbox. Phoenix overall in this competition, also 50% win rate, 2 wins, 2 losses. He's run primarily Miner and Hog Rider so far in this competition. So we'll see if he sticks with one of those 2 choices. But yeah, Miner and Hog Rider have been the 2 primaries for the 2-2 Phoenix so far. On the other side of things, Sandbox, let's go ahead and jump on into it. Sandbox, I'm trying to think of how much he's actually been playing. There we go. How much has Sandbox actually played in this competition? Sandbox is actually, I'm kind of surprised. Maybe this is maybe why I was having so much trouble finding that one. No, that can't be right. Is that right? This has to be incorrect data. There's no way Sandbox, the logo is wrong. There's no way Sandbox is 3 and 9 in this competition. That'd be crazy. Let me go ahead and look at this. Let me go ahead and do a little double checking here. Against French Swat, Sandbox didn't play. Against OLIMPO squad, Sandbox didn't play. Yeah, no, that data is super wrong. Let me just go ahead and send a little message here on that one. Give me 1 second, folks. So there's nothing in here that really buffs Drill specifically. You could say that MK, not having MK Minor Prince deck, maybe gives Drill some extra boost, but there's no Drill counters, like hard counters that are out. But both players opting to go Drill here, and part of that is just other popular decks being unavailable. How is Sandbox in SK Calalas? Because they signed him for this event, I guess. Is the best I can describe. I mean, the Shot Calalas roster for this tournament is crazy. It's like Sandbox, Mugi, Lucas, Ruben, Vitor, Dominic, and Mole. So it's kind of crazy. Quality of game is a little bit soft, low res of the stream itself at 1080. Yeah, well, the game is coming through a clean feed. I don't know if I can create a good solution to that problem. Let me explore an option here, folks. If the gameplay is looking a little bit underwhelming right now. Let me see if I have a potential solution here. Let me compare these two. No, that delay is way too much. I was thinking I could bring in my own iPad, but the difference between the gameplay from the clean feed and here is like a 20-second difference. So, unfortunately... Oh, wait a second. Gotta take you off there. Dude, your name, bro. $18.01 to $14.78. Why is Sandbox in Shot Calalas? Isn't he in BCN Pro Team? From what I can see, he's not. Since it's right here that he is on Shot Calalas. Was he at one point? Was there a trade made or something? Oh, you know what? I am betting that there was a trade made. Because Adriel used to be on the Shot Calalas roster. Let me go ahead and ask about that, actually. That's a really good question. That's a really excellent question. Let me go ask GKR about that. I'm gonna go ahead and ask about that. Maybe I don't know if there's I don't know if there's a trade possible somewhere. I'm trying to find Rich, I'm like your biggest fan. No way. Really? Oh, maybe he had a bad record and he was on BCN Pro Team? I'm very confused about this. Rulebook. Let me see if there's that's a qualifiers rulebook. Yeah, I'm trying to find something about, something where I can get some more information regarding this strange shift, because you're absolutely right. He was on BCN Pro Team. So I don't know. And Adriel was on Shot Calalas, and now he's not there anymore. Very confusing. Very confusing indeed. You don't need so many stars on one team. I fully agree. Coming up next, folks, it's going to be our dual mode matchup. Rainbow and Mugi. Let's go. Mugi, 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 Mugi. To quote my friend the God RF. That is what he said into the headphones when Mugi won at World Finals in 2021. Has it ever mentioned you look like LP from Run the Jewels? Cursive, check out my background when we come back to the face cam. No Mitch saying they should have a commission of people like Mugi and Momo can't play on the same team. I mean, you can't really prevent that. What prevented that sort of thing, I mean, nothing's really prevented that in the past, right? We've had super teams in the past. Before, when players had more legitimate salaries, that kind of did some of it, but I don't know. In old school teams, you still had like stacked teams versus teams that were essentially memes, right? So I think that's always been a problem, right? It's not that, I mean, it's the same kind of problem you have in like traditional sports, right? Like look at when Durant went to the Warriors. And Shot Calalas is willing to spend slightly more money than these other teams are right now, and so they can get all the big stars. The only way to really prevent it is to have a league where the teams are randomized or drafted or whatever it is. Which there is an argument for it. But then the orgs have no reason to be involved. So it's a vicious cycle. Speaking of vicious cycle, take a look at what's happening here. Mirror matchup with the more classic Drill NATO variation. A lot of this mirror match is about who does a better job of abusing the magic archers. Who does a better job of abusing magic archers? Who gives up less bad magic archer? Elias44 has a 2-word middle name, which is unique. Team money cap, like football, help balance teams. Yes, but the money cap is so low. Like, there's no... these players aren't getting... Like, back in the day, back in CRL teams, there were higher salaries, but these players aren't, like, getting big money from these teams. Like, I think that people need to understand that this is a grassroots, independently produced tournament with a small prize pool overall, right? I think like I can't remember what's the full prize pool for GKR throughout the year. It's like $40,000 for the whole year. 45 maybe? I have to remember what the prize pool is. Let me go look at the rules. One second, folks. Getting a little communication here from stats. And here you go, not managing Magic Archers. And this Magic Archer able to just do a whole lot. NATO pulls back. GG, well played. Easy dubs for Mugi. Give me a second here, folks. Trying to check something on the stats side of things. 1 second. Let's see. For Mugi, Rainbow One. Oh, okay. Let's see the. Oh, I see the RTJ pick. Yeah, you can see. So this is the box, and over here is my RTJ like limited edition LP Killer Mike action figures. So I got into RTJ really early. Like I've seen them 3 times live. I saw them in a room of. I saw them live with like in a room of like 800 or 1,000 people when it was just the first album out. I've been backstage. I was able to go backstage and see them at FYF in LA one year. Big RTJ fan. Wait, Rainbow won? Am I crazy? Oh, Rainbow did win. My bad. Yes. Rainbow won, not Mugi. For some reason, in my brain, the player on the right is the one on the bottom, and the player on the left is the one on the top. But yes, I am aware that I said the wrong person. I'm also trying to communicate with League Ops about the trade and with Royale API about the data. This guy's saying he's the best player in the future. Well, I look forward to seeing it. For now, you're a guy in the comments. I don't think I have yet seen anybody in the chat be like, I'm the next big thing, or I'm going to win all this stuff, and then they actually did it in the future. But I don't know if you guys ever see this, but there's this, if you ever watch Inside the Actors Studio, there's a clip of Bradley Cooper when he was like an acting student asking like some question inside the Actors Studio. And then of course next, fast forward 10 years later, he's an international movie superstar. Thank you, Rhinocraft, for confirming that Kamapulia is actually the best in the future. I was concerned. I was worried. Let me go ahead and I'm going to, again, try to confirm something here, folks. These roster changes are fascinating. What happened to Adriel? DKP. Dragon kill points, I'm guessing is what that means. Currently top 500 global. Keep it up, brother. Is this RG going to actually do something here? Nice lightning. Rainbow put it to Mugi right now. Despite Inferno Dragon guards, the Fish Boy is able to shut down these Hog Riders very nicely. Rich knows about WoW. Rich has been clean from World of Warcraft since 2007. If we're to do that in third person. Mugi just has not been able to find a way to distract the Fisherman when he pushes. Because he's had to use the guards on defense against the Royal Giants. He has to find some way to distract the next Fisherman. So we might see a Hog behind this. Here we go. But that log, just the DPS is too good. Interesting lightning cycle here. This might, so I think we're going to see a Hog guards push here. Log to try to clear, but the damage, the DPS is just too good. And there's no lightning block. GG, well played. Nice 2-0 from Rainbow. Wait a second. Wait a second. Did TSA just run through Shot Calalas? Did TSA just run through them? Like a hot knife through butter? Am I crazy? Am I like legitimately crazy here? Wait a second, let me go back here for a second. So, Doodoo beat Dominic. And then Phoenix beat Sandbox. And then Rainbow just... Wow! Wow! Like, I actually didn't even realize it was happening. I straight up didn't realize it was happening. TitanStars... Or TSA just ran through Shot Calalas 4-0. Who had that on their bingo card? Who had TSA runs through Shot Calalas 4-0? Bro, what? What? And where's Adriel? What's going on? Bro. That's crazy. Talking about super teams, Shot Calalas got steamrolled today. What's so special? Are you looking down at TSA? Please tell me, Hong, that you're not acting like TSA running through Shot Calalas isn't a surprise. Please tell me you're not going to act like that isn't a huge result. Like, you were like, oh yeah, TSA is going to 4-0 Sandbox, Dominic, and Mugi. Please tell me you didn't, like, predict, you didn't predict that. If you say you predicted that, you're either on TSA or you're a liar. Now, Rainbow played a great game. Rainbow played a phenomenal game. And Rainbow's been good in this competition. Probably, like, for TSA, he's been one of the bright spots overall. Where is Rainbow's stuff? Hold on. Where are you at, Rainbow, on the... There we go. Wait, he's definitely played. I think some of this information is incorrect. Let's go to scores. And let's go for just TitanStars Alliance. I swear that I've seen Rainbow play this week. Or play in this competition. Is Rainbow not playing? Is Rainbow... Have there been like a bunch of trades? And just like all the players are on weird teams now? Let me look at this. No, he's been on there the whole time. Yeah, Rainbow played well. And Rainbow played... Maybe it was a different competition. Maybe it was in National Series that I saw him play really well. Yeah, he played in one of my streams. He's played well in one of my streams recently, too. Morning. But yeah, anybody acting like they had... Hong says expected. Hong, I'm calling you out right now. Cap. All cap. That's crazy that anyone's sitting there going, making that prediction. TitanStars just ran through him. I mean, look, they matched that up very, very nicely. And very good point, Mustafa said. Able to shut down the Hog. Not able to protect the Inferno Tower. No Mo today. There was no Mo today. Yeah, Rainbow did great. Deserved, but unexpected. There you go. Oh, Mo has finals. There you go. That'll do it. I'm your fan. Oh, thanks, Steve. Appreciate it. Where are the standings? We'll show them at the end of the day. Standings will be up at the end of the day, but you know the big development here. Shot Calalas 4-1 now. Rich, when will Pugin sign me? When they need to win a fight. Mr. Norris. Here we go. Our second match of the day. After that blowout. Blowout? Blowout. Match 2. Sandbox's former team, BCN Pro Team, who's at the bottom of the table, 1-3, up against French Swat, who's also at the bottom of the table. Only ban in here today is Minor. And you want to talk about some surprises. BCN Pro Team, despite having Wallace, Samuel, Diego, Ian, and technically Igor, who I don't think has played yet. Has Igor played yet? Has not performed. Maybe the biggest surprise here has been the performance of BCN Pro Team. Because they should have been much higher. For me, I think the TSA analyst is good. TitanStars analyst. Let's see. Mike, Hiram. Well, I mean, then why were they 1-3? French SWAT on the other side of things with Paolo, Paradox, and Z to kick off. Ileana, a.k.a. Shetty, is on there. Viper. Hugo, or Ugo. It's a waste not to sign me. Don't activate King Tower. King Tower activates me. I feel you on that one. Only ban on this one is Minor. And I don't think there was a raid or something on Twitch. Just people showing up. What's up, Twitch? How are you? I see some people in here. People talking about one guy's name. If you want to see a ridiculous name, go to Twitch. Vanguard's in the building. TSA analyst knows what he's doing. Yeah, they kind of nailed it. They certainly nailed it. Certainly indeed. Yeah, I'm really shocked at the performance of... I mean, BCN Pro Team should be way higher up on the rankings here. Like, if you look at the rosters, right? Just on pure roster strength. Obviously, strongest roster, just by name recognition unknown. And by, I mean, also, strongest roster, Shot Calalas, Doom, Lucas, Vitor, Sandbox, Mo, Mugi, right? Despite just getting blown out in this last game, in this last match. You know, talking about other really strong rosters on paper, at least. Obviously, Rising Sun is great with Ta, Pandora, Greco, Air Surfer, Reiki Jones, Spring. Very good roster overall. You take a look at Shock 13, Furkan, Titan, Sub, Pedro, Surge, Betfas. Solid B+, A- roster there. BCN Pro Team, Wallace, Stardust, a.k.a. Igor, Samuel, Bassotto, Diego, and Ian. That's a team that should be top 3. So the level they're performing at in this competition, a bit of a surprise. Really should be top 3 based off roster alone. But that's why we play. You know what I mean? That's why we play. How are you? Says Professor Live. I'm well. Stream number 1 of 2 today. 2 streams today. We're doing this, and then after this, we're taking a short break, and then I'll be back with the kickoff for the BESF Cup, which will be fun. Is Elsiot playing? China is in a totally different server. They don't even play on the same server as everybody else. Mohamed Light needs a nerf. Well, want me to nerf him is to have him take exams, because he's not here today. And Shot Calalas took a shocking loss. What happened to all the Elva guys, LCL Pyre and all? Because China's on a totally different version of the game. China is separated from everyone else on the game. Mugi game was so nice in Grand Finals Queso Cup. Yeah, I mean, they did just take down the Queso Cup yesterday, which was nice. Cowboy hat better. Oh, the one down over here? Doesn't work. It doesn't work with the headphones, unfortunately. You know what I mean? So, set number 1 coming up here in just a minute. We are in the 3v3 BO1s, which I love. I've grown to really like this format, the 3v3 BO1. And we've seen it in 2 different ways recently. We've seen it this way with the bans. I think this is too many bans, but it's been interesting at least. The ability to have up to 8 bans. But I like the 3v3 BO1s, right? Paolo versus Bassotto, Paradox versus Wallace, and then if necessary, Z versus Diego B. I like that conceptually. But I like the 3v3 BO1s in team duel mode, where whatever decks are played by Bassotto in game number 1, for example, that's out for Wallace and then for Diego B. I actually like that. If my favorite format for 3v3 BO1 is the 3v3 BO1 duel. I think that's the best one. Because then it really makes your order important, right? Who you put up first, second, and third becomes really critical based on that choice. Because now you're going, oh, my player 3 needs to be really, they have to have good deck picking skills, and also need to be my most versatile player, most likely, even though they might not end up playing. Right? At the moment, this is kind of like you're just trying to get yourself to win in 2. Match should be starting here in any moment. Martin saying, I really want to see Paradox playing. Well, he's in game number 2, so you will be seeing him. For sure. Nice hat. Thank you. Let me see if I can get an update on when we're getting started here. We should be getting started in just a moment. I'm going to go jump in the clan. I got the little iPad right here. I'll go jump in the clan and see what's what. I miss the old days when players play live on stage, especially 2v2. Kitassyan and Kensu Meshi was unplayable at times. Yeah, Kita and Kensu was a really fun to watch. I really enjoyed them as a duo. And I miss the watching players live on stage. But the switch away from teams format definitely changed the math on that dramatically, right? Because you had all these like teams coming and living near a studio for X amount of time. So that was nice. But in a solo format, it's just not sustainable. And one of the many things that the shutdowns, pandemic, everything kind of showed everyone was that the amount of money they were spending on these expensive productions was just not worth it. So we're in the online version now, but you'll see them on stage for Worlds and for other things too. BESF Cup, the finals for that will be online. Man, we're just waiting on a player here. Let's see. Change the thumbnail. Why? Do I have the wrong thumbnail up? I think I have the correct thumbnail up. Oh, I see what you mean. Got it. I want to see Paradox play, but it just wouldn't make sense. He's going to play. What are you talking about? You want to see, how you mean? He's going to be second up. Look at that. How am I doing? I'm doing very well. Just waiting for this game to start. But one of our teams is missing a player. Am I streaming BESF today? Yes. After this, I'll take a short break, and then I'll be back with BESF. What's your favorite pair of sunglasses? I like the one I'm wearing quite a lot, actually. Oh, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. All right. They need to just start. Normally, this league is like really strict with. Normally, this league is really strict with some of these rule things. Watch your stand-up on YouTube. You were pretty good. Yeah. I would say that I was very good. That video was an all right video. I like that video. I like that material a lot. But yeah, stand-up I was starting to get really good, and then I landed the job doing CRL, and had my son at the same time and had to make a choice and started doing less stand-up and focusing on providing for my family with this really cool opportunity, and there you go. Do you earn money from casting these games? This is my career now. No wonder the game is not starting. Yeah, we're waiting for a player to show up. Congrats for 200K subscriber. You're a little early there, buddy. It's just so irritating that players play for different teams in different competitions, like Wallace here. Yeah, well, their teams don't necessarily, if they don't field a team in a competition, they play for someone else, right? Tribe doesn't have, first of all, Tribe only has one player signed, that's Wallace, and they don't field a team for this, so, you know, there they go. Wow, they are just, I guess these players are really not taking it serious. Now that both these teams are pretty much out of playoffs, players are kind of not showing up, so I think we're finally going to start here in a moment. But both of these teams are kind of being... how much do you earn from this casting? None of your business! But I'll say this, that I've been able to make a career in the last few years, since 2018, based on my casting career. So there you go. Give us some of the stand-up. It's available on my YouTube channel, but I don't do stand-up on streams. That's not how it works. I think your IQ is 200 plus because your commentary on point and very smart choice of words going to the situation in front of you. I have good RAM, right? Like my ability to process information quickly and put it back out in words. I've been a public speaker my entire life. I'm relatively sharp, but is what it is. Who's the best player in your opinion? Mohamed Light. Hey, Manolix, you're playing a BSF today. Well, we'll see if I end up casting your match. We'll see. This game's apparently finally starting. Here we go. So we should have gameplay here in just a minute. Do I know Alan Franzotti, the Brazilian caster? Yes, I do. He used to be a coach for Pain Gaming. So I saw him, you know, during 2019 when we were on set together for CRL West. I do know Alan. Your personality is perfect for casting. Thank you very much. Some people really like it. You know, it's interesting. Like, some people like you really like it a lot. Some people are neutral. Some people really hate it. You know, I think it's better to have some people love you, some people hate you, than it is to have people feel neutral on you. Who's Mohamed Light's coach? Jebba's. It's time! Bruce Buffer. Do I have kids? Yes, two. No Lutsy. I disagree with this entirely. Stand-up comedy is so watered down nowadays due to everybody's feelings. Just be way funnier. I think you couldn't be more incorrect. I mean, Ari Shafir, Shane Gillis, Tim Dillon, Mark Normand, Big J Okerson. Oh, who did I... what's her name? Jordan. I just heard her the other day. Kurt Metzger. Comedy's not watered down. It's actually as free as it's ever been. Tony Hinchcliffe didn't get canceled. Tony Hinchcliffe is making bank off of Kill Tony after he got canceled for saying whatever, quote-unquote canceled for saying whatever he said. You know what I mean? Comedy isn't watered down at all right now. If you think comedy is watered down, then you're watching like the wrong place. Comedy Central might be watered down because Comedy Central doesn't keep its finger on the pulse, but there's never been a better time to get your hands on interesting and different comedy and easier access to it. This is very sweet of you. Thank you much, Elias. Oh, yes, Ian's playing. Smurfblade pointing out. It's the second best Hog player of all time. But what I'm saying, Noel, is that comedy isn't watered down, right? Like, there's more comedians doing whatever you want to call it. Edgy material, like unfiltered material, whatever, than there ever has been. And there's more access to them than ever. Like, the idea that comedy is watered down is just a perception thing, but it's, like, as someone who is directly tied to the comedy world, who knows it very, very well. But in Minnesota, by me, they never book those types now. Well, you probably have a garbage comedy club near you. Probably have some crap, I don't know, where in Minnesota do you live? You know, like if you are at if you're someplace where they only have like a C room or a B room, then yeah, they're booking mediocre acts, because that's what the club does. We'll talk about this more during the break. Right now, let's focus on Ian doing what Ian's fans want, which is winning with something that looks like a pig. There's nobody riding it, though. What about Ian? Well, here he is. Is Ian playing today? Yes. GG, well played. Ian takes game number 1. All right, I'm going to focus on the gameplay next game, but during the break, I'll happily talk more about the Clash Royale, about comedy stuff. Yeah, I don't know like what comedy club you're near. Your local comedy club might be like some crap room who doesn't book anybody good. There's a lot of rooms that just like they book no-names that aren't even good no-names just because they know they can sell tickets to comedy just as a concept and not to anyone in specific. Who's the best hog player in your opinion? Not entirely sure. Do you know Panji from Indonesia? He just moved to New York just for stand-up comedy. It's crazy. Oh, good for him. Paolo, never lightning the queen. Very good point here. Yeah, I mean, like, you can go, like, just recently, like, the number of great comedy specials that have been released on YouTube, right? Not even behind a paywall. That's the craziest part, too, right? It used to be that if you wanted to see good stand-up comedy specials, you wanted to see Doug Stanhope's No Refunds, which was phenomenal in 07. You had to either subscribe to Showtime or go, like, buy the DVD for it. I know because I went and bought the DVD for it in 07, right? Like, for so long, to get access to anybody who was interested in comedy, there were no free mainstream outlets for it. Like, Patton Oswalt was crushing it in the 2000s, and there was no access. Like, there was no YouTube for it. You had to go buy his albums, right? Like, all access to good, interesting comedy was behind a paywall. Now, because of the way the business model has changed, all the best comedy is pretty much available for you on YouTube. There are the occasional things that are available that come through HBO or go through Netflix now, but really, like, this is maybe one of the best times for stand-up comedy ever, and I would say it's getting even better right now than it was if we rewind, like, kind of the big boom from 2012 to 2018. I'd say this is even better than that boom in some ways, because now you have, like, that's truly democratized. Is there a modern-day George Carlin? I mean, Doug Stanhope is the closest to that, but Stanhope is on his way out. He's like, or he's not on his way out. Stanhope is, like, deep into his career. What is going on? Why did they switch that? That was not me. You said Ian is second best? Oh, someone else said Ian was second best. Hog player. Interesting. I guess Wallace playing Hog Mortar. Jack may have been better in his time as a Hog player. That might be fair. Jack was at one time the top Hog player on the planet, that's for sure. This is not King of the Hill. This is 3v3 BO1, as you can see on the right-hand side. And you see here, this is the big difference. Oops. Yeah. Not going to get that. That's all bad for Paradox. You see that Wallace is not playing the guards version. He's playing a little faster cycle version than what we saw previously. And because of that, he's able to get past these Royal Giant pushes a lot easier. Now, the Firecracker not as useful against the Hog Rider as we saw in the previous match as well. But that Hog Goblins push to deal with the Fisherman, and also the fact that it's still single and you can take advantage of those moments, pretty huge for Wallace. Now let's see what happens in double Elixir. But again, he's going to go Hog. Maybe he doesn't go Goblins high. That Fisherman is not well placed. Paradox is not doing great work with these Fishermen. He was able to mitigate that damage, but he's going to get a little chipped away, and now he tries to go opposite lane with the Royal Giant. Nice Ice Spirit out of Wallace to keep that mortar fully healthy. And Lightning, an immediate opposite lane. Hog, Fish Boy is going to be late, so one shot's going to get in. Oh, a second shot, too. Just misplays after misplays from Paradox here. And Wallace needs to just not overspend, and he'll cycle right back to another log or just the EQ. GG. Easy dubs there for Wallace and BCN Pro Team. That was not a good performance from Paradox. That was a rough one for him. Yeah, let's go ahead. You know what's funny, and I've said this before. Back to some of the like general comedy conversation. People often complain about cancel culture or stuff like that. Comedians don't. You know who has to worry about cancel culture is like a regular person. Like if your name is like Michelle and you work at a bank somewhere, you have to worry about getting canceled if you pop off on someone in real life, because you could get someone records you and then it goes viral and you lose your job. Comedians don't have to worry about getting canceled. Shane Gillis got canceled from SNL. He's doing great. Tony Hinchcliffe got canceled for his admittedly stupid set that went viral, and he's doing great. There's just no such thing as getting canceled for famous people. Like, it's really, you might lose out. You might go from I make tens of millions to I make millions, but you're not like, especially for for comedians in particular, because they have this direct-to-you source of stand-up, podcasts, YouTube, whatever it is. There's no such thing as it's cancel. It's all fake. It's all fake. There's no such thing. Tony Hinchcliffe is doing better now than ever after getting canceled. Will there be draft battle mode in the next season ladder? I don't believe so. I think we're going back to regular. Good morning, Rich. I just woke up. What did I miss? Dude, rewind the YouTube to see what you missed. You missed some serious stuff. Let's see. So when does Riley play? On his channels when he plays. Bring back the old days. Of what? Favorite comedian of all time? That would be Doug Stanhope. Is my favorite of all time. But I have lots of guys that I like a lot. But Stanhope's probably my all-time favorite. If you look at the guys who influenced me when I was first starting stand-up, Stanhope, CK, Chappelle, Rock, and Rogan were guys who influenced me earlier on. I liked Rogan's early stuff a lot. I haven't liked his stuff in the last 8 years or so as much. Hey, Sandy, thank you so much for being here. And Anish, thank you very much for coming in and doing some stuff. Can you show us a stand-up clip of you being a comedian? Yeah, it's on my YouTube channel. Let's see. Rich Slayton Comedy. Here. Let's see. Let me share that. This clip is from my YouTube channel. There you go. Not a lot of clips of me up online from doing stand-up. This bit was going to be the central bit of my first album. The album was going to be titled Believe in It Less. And I recorded the album and then never released it. So I don't know if it'll ever come out because it's probably outdated now. I have to find the masters too. But yeah, there you go. Patrice O'Neal, my favorite of all time. Chris Rock second. Richard Pryor. Yeah, I mean Patrice. Elephant in the Room was brilliant. His crowd work albums were really funny. Have I heard of Ian Bagg? Yeah, I did shows with Ian Bagg back in the day. He's tons of energy. But yeah, Patrice is an all-time great for sure. Yeah, it's interesting. Like over time, my influences changed. I'd say Kurt Metzger is one of my biggest influences now. Kurt Metzger's not No Refunds. Kurt Metzger's White Precious is such a perfect special. One of the most criminally underrated comedy specials ever released. Favorite singer, probably, if we're just talking about a pure singer, Sia. As a pure singer would be my favorite. Her voice is insane. And powerful, too. And she just makes hits. Sandy Sandbox, no. We're waiting on our next set, guys. It's going to be Viper versus Samuel Bassotto. And we're getting into it finally. Here we go. Do I like shawarma? Oh, whoa. I guess, hold on. I guess that set isn't happening for some reason. Maybe Viper didn't show up? No, I guess it wasn't that Viper didn't show up. It was Samuel didn't show up. So free win for French SWAT. Wow, we're going to set number 3. Are they going to free win again? This is crazy. This is crazy. CS Vocal Range is insane for real. Yep. Check out those specials I mentioned. Yeah. Doug Stanhope, no refunds. Influenced an entire came out in 07, 08. 07. Came out in the fall of 07 on Showtime. And Doug Stanhope's no refunds influenced an entire generation of comedians. Like, I started doing stand-up. Comedy was dead in 07. Like, comedy didn't start popping off again until around 2012, 2014. That range is when I started getting popular again. Comedy was like a dead art. Like, it was for weirdos and misfits, and like the Comedy Store couldn't even fill their showrooms half the time. It was like the whole scene was dead. Stanhope's No Refunds came out in 07, and I'm from a generation of comedians who all started after seeing that special and being like, oh my god, this, like, comedy can be like this? This is stand-up? And then I hadn't seen anything I thought that was that good. There were good specials for sure. Bill Burr's Black and White special, Louis C.K.'s Chewed Up was tremendous. There were some really good specials in there, but then Kurt Metzger's White Precious came out in 2014, same year as Bill Burr's Black and White special, and White Precious was tremendous. Tremendous. Kurt Metzger's one of the funniest writers on the planet. And then, I'll say this, I've seen a lot of funny stuff out there. I've seen some good specials over time. The one that made me laugh the most, and he's not what people think he is the Shane Gillis Live from Austin. What's that one called? What is that special called? He put it out on YouTube, if I remember correctly. It's just called Shane Gillis Live in Austin, I think. Yeah. That's a really good special and not what people think it would be. So, I know he got hammered a bunch for all of his like podcast stuff, but that special is more thoughtful than I anticipated. Bill Burr's a go-to comedian than anyone thinks. Yeah, that is true. I've only really loved, I've liked. Why is this frozen? Hold on. Let me see if this is on my end or on their end. 1 second, folks, because it seems. Nope, this is on their end. This is the feed, folks. Let me see if I can. I'm gonna quickly attach my iPad because they are having an issue with the game feed and it's not coming through. So give me a second, and I'm going to try to fix this myself. There you go. Oh, nope, they fixed it. Never mind. Oof, they finally got it before I had to try to fix it myself. There you go. Josh Wolf is really great. Yeah, Josh Wolf is funny. Nice guy, too. Man. The no-shows in this competition have been absolutely crazy. So getting some word about what happened with Adriel on the who was on Shot Calalas. He couldn't really play. This schedule is really bad for people who are in North America. And that's I think some of the problem we're seeing with people not showing up is because, like, right now it's almost 11 a.m. in North America, right? So you look at a team like BCN Pro Team, you have Diego, Samuel Bassotto, Wallace, and Ian are all NA players. Are all Americas, not all NA, because Wallace and Samuel are both South America. But you have all Americas players, right? So it's middle of the day for all these guys, and especially for Diego and Ian, it's a huge challenge. Do I know Stellar? No idea. All right, game number 1 goes for Ian. Well played. And seeing him play some E-Giant, too. Just watch the stand-up comedy. Very funny. Thank you. I agree. I really appreciate that you guys like it. Like I said, I haven't done stand-up in about a year now. A year and change, actually. I have newer stuff. But I'm just not, I don't have time to go out and do stand-up. I have a 4-year-old and now a 9-week-old. So, unfortunately, just don't have the time to do it. Hopefully one day I can do it again. I like the newer stuff that I'm doing, too. It's funny. It's really good. Or the newer stuff that I have not had a chance to do regularly. Ian77, ladies and gentlemen. Nassid throwing some heat. Throwing some a little spice on that. A little spice on that, indeed. What was Jordan's last name? I just saw Jordan Jensen. She's very funny. She's very, very funny. I don't think she has a full special out yet. But when she has a full special out, I'll definitely watch hers. She was just, yeah, she's really funny. She was just on LOS, and she's great. Yeah, you're just talking about Slate Mini being born, and it's already 9 weeks. It's almost 10. It's almost 10 weeks. He's getting up there. Andrew Schultz, not my cup of tea. You know, it's like kind of easy crowd work that he does. A lot of people like him, but that's also like what's great about comedy is that there are people who think that Larry the Cable Guy is the funniest person on the planet, and there are people who think that he's awful. And same thing for Andrew Schultz, right? So that's my favorite thing about comedy is whenever you say that there are rare occasions where like someone who's actually not good at comedy can say they're not funny. But for most of these pros, you just say they're not funny to me, right? You just put the me. Do I know Matt Rife? I met him a few times back in the day, but you know, I don't like, know him. I can't remember if we ever did a show together or not. Do I like Norm Macdonald? Norm Macdonald is exceptionally funny. Or was. Rest in peace. But that's the best thing about it. Is like the worst thing about comedy is these C-room comedy clubs that just like they hire any old comedian and then any old person shows up and then people show up and they're like, I don't like this. And it's like, well, you didn't look up the comedian or find out if you would like them or not. It's actually one of the things that's nice about today is that comedians are better able to reach their audiences and at an earlier level able to connect and get them out to what their thing is. So that's nice. Kevin Hart, not my thing. Not into him. But people do love him. There we go. Ian Viper. Any guacamole recipe suggestions? I don't have one, but I should come up with one. But yeah, Jordan Jensen, very funny. I would suggest checking her out. So a little mirror matchup here. We'll see if they're going full mirror or just partial. I don't know Rainer Winkler. Rich, you have great taste, my friend. Thank you very much. I just know good. Game recognized game. Drill in front. No, let's everybody saying Southern California. South Cali is not a, don't call it that, please. Oh my Lord. Southern California has best Mexican food. Yeah, for sure. Depends on where you are. I mean, San Diego crushes it. LA crushes it. I mean, San Diego's where it's at. Don Carlos Tacos in La Jolla is insanely good. But it's hard to go wrong in San Diego with Mexican food. If you go to any place that isn't a chain, you're in good shape. Kudos to Viper for not banning Hog. Well, the bans are actually bans for the entire match. So the team chose not to ban Hog. Chill Pills saying, gotta say, Gabe is my favorite comedian all time. Great. Yeah, again, like, not for me, but I recognize the game. Recognize the skills. A lot of my friends open for him because Gabe has his crew that runs. So far, Viper getting the better of this one. That Mighty's going to do some damage. Maybe a little bit more. Oh, it didn't quite get it. But still, that's probably a little bit more than Viper expected. And the log for the first one, Ice Spirit for the second. Nice sequencing from Ian, expecting the Fireball in. Pretty much only gave up Fireball and Drill spawn damage. And now Ian's back in the game here, down by about 200 HP. Ian's got a good sense, and that Ice Spirit didn't quite get it. He's got a pretty good sense of his opponent's rhythm right now. $17.39 to $15.99, catching up by about 150 is the American. And again, more damage than Viper's anticipating. That guard split wasn't it. And look at this. Look at the way Ian's battled back in this. He's just doing a good job. Like, Viper's throwing the same attack essentially every time. The Drill Fireball. But Ian's doing a good job of sequencing this so that the spells aren't getting value, and now he's in the lead. 1135 to 1095. Ian being the less predictable player, and it's paying off in spades so far. Log clears. Goblins come down. 812 to 780. Fireball in opposite direction. Fireball back. 573 to 605. 13 seconds left. Can Viper steal this one? Bomb Tower goes high. Ice Spirit holding. Fireballs both ways. GG, well played. Nicely done by Ian, who's going to win this one by just a tiny bit. But he had to battle back. He had to make a great comeback here. I know that Viper isn't at his best right now, but that's one of Ian's better performances. Very, very calculated and thoughtful performance by Ian there. Very well played. How did I find Clash Royale? From Clash of Clans. I've been playing Clash Royale pretty close to since launch. Remember a player named Coco? What combination was it where he popped off on camera? I don't remember. What's my least favorite food? That's a good question. Eggplant? Probably. Like, you can't find a way for me to like eggplant. Much love from India. Hey, what's happening? David Cross is really funny. Yeah, he's a little too ironic in his style of comedy for me, but how do the bans work? Do players just opt not to make a team before the match starts in this event? Teams submit up to the 4 bans, and then those bans are globally banned for the first and third set. Rich, what will happen when one of the teams win? What do you mean? I love these Epidemic sound songs. Yeah, Epidemic comes through big. Where's Juicy J? Probably at his house. All-time favorite caster for Clash of Clans is Carbonfin. Carbon's very smart. Sharp guy, for sure. Elias doesn't like mushrooms. I'm good with mushrooms now. Let's see. Eggplant parm is pretty good. Even eggplant parm can't do it. Can't cover up that it's eggplant. Eggplant's just nasty, dude. Eggplant's just nasty. Who's my favorite player? You are. You're my favorite player, Vanch. All right, here we go. Come on. Would love to see this get a nice little 3-0 sweep. Would be good for us so I have enough time to get ready for BESF. How do you like Donald Glover's specials? I haven't watched them enough to have a clear opinion. I think that his music stuff has been pretty good. He's a funny guy overall. But yeah, I generally I rarely find the specials of non-grinders to be funny. Like, if you're like an actor who's sometimes a stand-up comedian, it's unlikely I'm going to be super into your comedy special. But that being said, I don't think I've watched enough of Donald Glover's specials to have a clear opinion. But there's just a clear difference from somebody who grinds the clubs and is out doing it all the time to someone who's not, which is why I don't really do much stand-up these days, because I was a grinder. I was out doing it almost every night, multiple sets a night, and I know what good is. And being a dilettante, not my thing. Do I like Louis C.K.? Louis C.K. is possibly the actual comedy GOAT. His legacy will be tarnished from his poor decision-making and lack of self-control. But as far as, like, actual resume, like, the quality of the specials and content he put out, Louis C.K., strong actual GOAT argument. And I think that there would have been... It would have been less questioned had he not messed up dramatically. What are they doing? What's happening? Did the wrong person... Did someone play a banned card? What is going on? Ian used minor. Oh, my lord. Ian used minor. Fun. How did Ian use minor? How did you use minor? What are you doing? Which arena are you in? I am currently 5 wins away from Ultimate Champion. His TV show isn't it's called Louis. Yeah, Louis was great. Louis was a great show. Richard Pryor and Dave Chappelle still have the best stand-up specials for me. I mean, I think Pryor's very much of his time. And Chappelle, for what it's worth, and Killing Him Softly are great. Everything after that, I'm kind of like, take it or leave it. Honestly, I think that's a lot more... I would have loved to see Chappelle in his modern era have the same drive and fire he had in his earlier years, in his earlier era. Like, I would have loved to see now Chappelle going after it the way that Chappelle Show Chappelle went after it. Yeah, early Chappelle, not the new specials. Yeah, the new specials are loosey-goosey. Same thing. Like, one of my all-time favorites is Doug Stanhope. His first, like, 3 specials albums. Deadbeat Hero is punk rock. No Refunds is probably his best work. Something to Take the Edge Off is one of the best pieces of comedy art ever made. There's a run of specials he did in the teens that are all kind of mediocre, and where, like, 3 of them could have been one special that would have been brilliant. Comedians get comfortable, too, with money, like everyone else. Sure. Any reason for the card bans? It's so you don't have the... If you watched Queso Cup got boring because it was like the same 4 or 5 decks. So, yeah, I bans make it so that you... What happens now? You use a ban card. Well, Ian loses. And now it's going to be Hugo versus Wallace. Are they turning ladder back to my 1v1? Yeah, they've said so. They're turning ladder back to normal, to like regular mode. Kirby Enthusiasm is fire. It's a little cringy for me. And not cringy in like, I hate the term cringe now, where it's like, cringe, you did like a thing that was earnest and now it makes me uncomfortable. I don't like what you did. I mean, like, the whole point of Kirby Enthusiasm is comedy where you're like, it's like uncomfortable comedy. I don't really enjoy like uncomfortable comedy. It's not my thing. Ever tried Pink's Hot Dogs? I lived in LA for 14 years and never found it worth standing in line to go to Pink's Hot Dog. So there you go. SP's not here today, no. This is a smaller thing. Let's see. Blah, 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 blah. Curb is meant to be uncomfortable. Yeah, I just don't like that. That's not my vibe. I don't like watching comedy where I want to cover my eyes the whole time. You know what I mean? Man, sometimes you speak so fast I'd like subtitles to understand you. Yeah, I feel you. Here we go. Let's see if Wallace can make up for Ian's silly mistake. Who's the best P.E.K.K.A player of all time? Not entirely sure. Why do you like glasses? Because they're fun. Thanks for existing. Oh, that's sweet. Will Ian play then? That's kind of strict. Well, the card is banned. The card is banned and you play it, so you lose the game that you played in. That's how bans work. You can't just play a ban card and then be like, oops, let's play back again. You played a ban card, so you lose the game. That's how it's been forever. How do I feel about Theo Vaughn? I think he's pretty funny. He's not like, I don't listen to his podcast. I mean, I know Theo from the store back in the day when I worked there. Some of his stand-up's pretty funny. Some of it not my jam, but you know, Theo's whole thing is like telling stories that are like these unbelievable stories, right? And not knowing that the fact that it's like I can't really tell if they're true or not, is kind of like weird. I don't know. They all sound like weird backwoods tales. What happened to 2v2? What do you mean? It's still around, just not in competitive. I had said Kevin Hart earlier, not into him, but that's why comedy's subjective. Need to get the speech processing brain chips so you can understand me speaking quickly. Yeah. Happens sometimes. Interesting seeing Pigs played no mirror, because Mirror Pigs is kind of the jam right now. This deck generally should win against Pigs. Zappy's Fisherman is supposed to be strong against RG. Maybe it's the Mirror Pigs that are the problem. Is Wallace playing Fireball here? I think we would have seen it. Oh, there we go. Okay, so there's Fireball. Pete Davidson. I have not watched much of his stand-up. He's kind of just a tabloid guy now. But a lot of people I like him as a person, so good with him. Opinions about Seinfeld. He's a man of his time. GG, well played! And Wallace cleans things up for GKR, who take the win. What about Jimmy Carr? Jimmy Carr's, if you like what he does, he's great at it. Jimmy Carr's got a very sharp wit. So there you go. Let's see. I feel like most of us made it. This certainly is part of the charm. Yeah, for sure. You know, like, a lot of guys also I like in 15-minute chunks versus hour-long chunks, if that makes any sense, right? This chat is way more fun. I love watching Boss live stream get someone to, hey, Boss, how much can you deadlift questions? Yeah, well, people like to meme. Folks, that's it for this first stream. But guess what? We're back in 45 minutes with the BESF Cup. Ricky Gervais. Jesselnick. There you go. Those are my answers there. Hey, Rich, how much can you deadlift? I have no idea. I have back problems. I've not deadlifted in a long time. So that's going to be it for today's GKR stream. But we're back in 45 minutes with BESF. So come back in 45 minutes and watch the BESF Cup. I'm going to go and raid somebody on Twitch here in a second. YouTube, I'll see you guys in just a little bit. Kisses. See you back very soon here with more of this Twitch Hangout. And hold on, Twitch. We'll go ahead and end that YouTube stream.